All right, so we are with Weezy. And how do you pronounce your last name? Is it Sumi? Sumi?
Summy, just like
Sumi.
summer,
There you
but
go.
drop the R and add a Y.
All right, so with Weezy Sumi, and she plays around in the world of video. She's been a video producer for over 10 years, and as the need for quick and easy video has become more important, she took her skills from using a high dollar equipment to making videos for small businesses and decided to teach people how to make their own videos using their smartphones, which we know everybody has one these days. She leads workshops and has on-demand e-courses to help others grow confident in front of the camera and behind to record their own videos. She lives in Charlotte, North Carolina, and where she resides with her husband, Barry, mom of two, human young men, Seth and Aaron. My husband's name is Aaron, and we've had this discussion before that he actually
We
also
have.
married a Brianna, so very interesting there. And she's controlled by her own dog, uh, controlled by
Dog
her
pound.
own dog pound of four crazy, wacky hounds, Izzy, Ellie, Colt, and Cooper. And I see that you have one there behind you. So she's got her, they have her very well trained. So welcome, Weezy. It's so great to see you and to chat with you today about you and your business and all things travel.
Well, thank you for having me. I am so excited to be with you guys.
Wonderful. So tell us a little bit more about your business. How did you get into this? I mean, your bio says a little bit about how you got into the smartphone aspect of it, but tell us how you got into video production in general and what originally drew you to that particular business.
Well, I didn't realize it until my mid my midlife, but there was always something in me that I was always drawn. I loved television and I just thought it was so glamorous. You know, I never thought that I grew up in a rural part of Pennsylvania. And if you grew up rural, you think small that, hey, that's beyond me, that I never could achieve something like that. Um, but I loved television and I loved everything about it. And I just thought anybody who got to like work in a news channel or for me, it was behind the scenes. Um, sorry, uh, distraction. Uh, um, Anybody who got to work behind the scenes to help a show go forward
Mhm.
would just be the most glamorous, the best job ever. But as many of us, as we have our dreams when we're small, we let them go for a while. We go on about life. And as 2007 came along, at that time, I had a business where I would go into people's homes and paint murals and faux finishes on the wall. But as many of us know, that was the year that the big real estate crash happened.
Mhm.
And my clientele weren't just losing their homes, they were losing their jobs.
Mhm.
And I quickly exited that. And so during some of my downtime, it had always bothered me that I had never gone for a little bit more higher education, and I was letting fear hold me back. And one night, my husband and I were out on the deck talking about it, having a glass of wine, and he had and I expressed this to him, and he had the audacity to say to me, "Change it." I'm like, "What? Change? I can't wallow?" And so I took up his challenge, and the next week I got a catalog from our local community college. And I go, you know what? My body is tired from all of the work of going into people's homes and running up and down ladders and carrying all these gallons of paint and stuff. I need to be more easy on my body. And so I took my art behind the computer and I went back to school for graphic design. Well, while I was there, I found out that there was a video program in the college. So for the next 2 years, I went ahead and worked these 2 modalities together, and it quickly became evident I was a much better behind the scenes person helping get the program together, organize the talent, conduct questions for interviews, putting stories and ideas together, then assembling a team in
Mm.
order to make the videos. So when I got out of school, because at this time I'm in my mid 40s, um, so I'm a little bit of a late bloomer in the field. Um, I went out to try to pursue jobs, and they're going, "Well, you're fabulous, but we're going with somebody else."
Mm.
And after rejection, 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 I just go, "Screw it. This is my dream. This is what I want to do." And so I just started doing it on my own. And I
Cool.
would hire other freelancers to, to help me build my team, and we would go out and do marketing videos. And I did that up until 2020. And then, as we all know, COVID shifted a lot of things. Now, I had already started teaching about doing live streams and encouraging people to use live streams to promote their businesses and how to do that and different things. But once again, it's all keeps boiling down to I'm really good at helping people set their strategies for their agendas.
Mhm.
So instead of just, um, and I was like working to sell, sell, sell. So in 2020, I took a step back and I started doing some of my own self promotion. And during that is when I came up, it's like, okay, so you can teach, you can show, and you can example on how to do videos and primarily using the smartphone. Of course, here I'm using a web camera, but still, once again, the optics and all of this equipment has gotten so good. So
Mhm.
why not use what you have at hand?
Mhm.
So that is the modality of my business.
That's fantastic. So what would you say is your big mission behind your business, your big dream?
I I am a really good supporter. I'm a great friend. I will listen to your ideas. I will help you mold your plan to help it work the way you need it to work and fill in the gaps of where you lack the
Mm.
education or the information that is needed. So, um, I love helping people and I love to see them succeed. And I work a lot with these days I work with people who are a little bit slower to adapt to the current trends.
Mhm.
And because a lot of times they're afraid, they're shy, and maybe a little more introverted. And they're out there looking at the world going, "Oh, I see everybody else doing it. I wish I could do it." And it's like, you don't have to wish that you could do it. You can do it. So I'm an encourager also to people and helping guide them along the way.
Nice. It's a very fulfilling thing. We have something similar with our business and helping people travel more and that sort of thing. That when you see other people really succeeding where before they thought they couldn't, it's highly rewarding. So I totally get that.
Yeah. Yep. Because, well, if you remember at the beginning of my story, I was a child and I wanted to do this and I didn't think I could do this. So I've walked the path. I've walked the mindsets, I've walked the insecurities and have continued to just build and grow. So now it's time to pass it on to others.
For sure.
So, how does travel fit into your business, or how has it augmented what you do?
Uh I have so so I teach people, but then I also have a lifestyle channel on YouTube that I share my interest of different things, lifestyle, arts, crafts, and different things. And I like to go and I like to see different places and maybe visit with some of the locals or whatever, but I call it, so that little segment that I produce at times is called day tripping. And I may go 2 minutes down the road. I may go several hours away. It may be a bigger trip, but I try to take my trip and incorporate to share these locations that I visit to my audience so that, they get ideas that maybe they won't go to the exact places that I go to, but they can think of something that is around them just to encourage them to step out and, you know, even if it's just 2 hours, take a break from life, go enjoy something.
Mhm.
So tell us about some interesting places that you visited.
Um, I've mostly just traveled on the East Coast. I will say I have not been further west than the Mississippi. Oh, I take that back. I take that back. I have been out west. I've been to Washington State. Um,
Good
I
choice.
tra I went to Seattle in the middle of winter.
Oh,
Bad choice.
maybe not such a good choice.
I would not recommend that. I want to get back when the weather is warmer, but it was still beautiful. It was still beautiful. My son was in the army at the time, and so every clear day we got to look out onto Mount Rainier. So that was just
Nice.
beautiful and magnificent. And I did really enjoy going and just seeing the different shoreline because on the East Coast, the East Coast shoreline is vastly different than the Western shoreline.
Mhm.
And the animals that I could see were the nature that I got to witness was just spectacular. I never thought I would see a seal in the wild. I've only seen them, like in shows like at um, SeaWorld or something like that. But to see being able to encounter them and seeing whales swimming in the rivers and different things like that, I never thought I would be to see that. And that was very exciting for me. Um, Interesting places. Some other places we've gone to underground caverns,
Oh, fun.
and
Cool.
I love because I love, imagery. Um I love to see the striates in the rock formations and
Mhm.
how different things form and the to make natural art, I guess is the lack of a better word, with your stalagmites and stalactites and different things like that. So I'm really more of a nature girl, but
Mhm.
than versus going to big cities.
Mhm. Well, that leads in perfectly to our next question. What do you love most about traveling? Is it nature or is it something bigger than that?
It's nature and it's people.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
I Even though I'm introverted, I have a very inquisitive mind that I'm not afraid to strike go into places and start asking questions about their business. How did they get here? Recently, we just traveled to Tennessee and we went to this little town that had a square. Well, guess what? I talked to half of the shop owners, the half of the business owners on that square, and asked them, were you local or how did you get started and stuff like that, and just the interesting stories that people have, and take food. I love to explore
Yeah.
food, as it shows.
Mm.
Where have you
um,
had some of the best food?
um, I would say, um, Pennsylvania.
Really?
I grew up in Pen I grew up in Pennsylvania, and there's a lot of ethnicity in Pennsylvania.
Hmm?
In the northern states, a lot of the Irish settled there, a lot of the
Oh.
Italians and Greeks settled there.
Mm.
And the best Italian food I have ever had is when I go home
Mm.
and to go out for Italian food. Um, and a lot of bakeries. They have bakeries and they have butcher shops and different things like that that we don't have here
Hmm.
as much. They're starting to show up, but I grew up that way and I didn't know there was any other way. And then when we started moving south, um, it 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 changed. So my world became larger. So, but I also like history.
Hmm.
History, being able to go to historical sites.
Especially there on the East Coast. Lots
Oh
of
yeah.
history on the East Coast.
I I lived 14 years in Richmond, Virginia.
Oh
If
man.
if you want to be steeped in history, come to Virginia, come to
I used
uh
to live in Virginia,
South
so I
Carolina.
know.
Okay, what part of Virginia did you live in?
We lived in it was just outside of DC in Prince William County. It was Lake Ridge,
Mhm.
Virginia. It was about
Okay.
it was
Yep.
about an hour outside of DC, but with the traffic, it really wasn't that far. It just
Far
an
outside of
hour to
DC.
get into DC. So we were very close to.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so um Virginia's, so much of our nation, built in that area.
Mhm.
Um, and so I like going to the old buildings and different things like that I like to find out what's the history, what started that city
Mhm.
Hmm.
or small town, what industry was maybe possibly that they were built upon and everything. So
Mm.
I do it for enjoyment, but I also do it for, just to expand knowledge.
Absolutely.
Could you share with us one of your favorite travel memories?
I can. And this is not going to be nature. This is a city. Our 25th wedding anniversary back in 2010, we, most people go to a resort or to the islands or something like that. Well, my husband and I like beer, barbecue, and the blues.
There you
So
go.
we went to Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, perfect combination there.
Yep,
For
yep.
sure.
And we had lots of really great ribs
Mhm.
and to be there, and we are music lovers, and to stand in the studio of Sun Records and hear the greats that recorded music there.
Wow.
I teared up and cried like a little baby.
Aw.
Because I was just like, oh my gosh, Johnny Cash was here. Oh my gosh, Elvis was here. Uh, Roy Orbison, just different people, and then just others that came through. And just to hear the rich history of how the people started. And this room is like the recording studio is no bigger than this room right here. It's like 10 by 10. It was tiny. But just to hear the greats and then to hear some of the stories of some of the artists and how they got started and the conditions that they came from. It was just really interesting.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And then, of course, we went to Mud Island, and that's where not Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise had uh, filmed one of the John Grisham book, one of the movies there and everything. It, we stayed outside of town, but we definitely did all the stuff downtown that had to offer. So it was a cool trip. We really enjoyed that and made lots of memories.
Very cool.
What is something you wish you had known about travel when you first started?
So you don't have to pack everything that you need when it comes to like clothing.
Mm-hmm.
My packing has, because so many places now we tend to stay in a lot of not Airbnb, but the rental homes.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Like VRBO.
yeah, we use Verbo a lot when we go out of town, or rent a cabin or something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Sure.
Um but almost everything has a washer and dryer now.
Yeah.
So you just don't have to pack that heavy for every, you don't have to have 3 different outfits for every day or whatever, Um, have some loose clothing for the hiking trips,
Mhm.
a nice top, and let's face it, jeans or yoga pants, you can get away with a nice top for dinner.
Yeah.
So, and maybe maybe a jacket or 2. So, but I used to like big honking suitcase that now we share a travel size pull along
Mhm.
suitcase, and a carry-on bag is what we take on a trip with us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The adage goes, lay out all of the stuff that you need for your trip and remove half of the clothing and double the cash.
Yeah. Yep. That is for sure.
Awesome. Well, we're going to move into a little rapid fire here. So these are just kind of quick little answers, so you don't have to get go too deep with them or anything like that. But just for us to get to know you a little better. It's a fun little thing that we like to do with the
Okay.
folks here. So, what are your favorite pizza toppings?
Margarita pizza is my absolute favorite.
Ooh.
So that would be tomatoes and basil and lots of cheese.
We interviewed somebody else who really liked margarita pizzas as well. So you've got some kindred spirits here in this.
Yay. I love pizza. You can put just about anything but anchovies and mushrooms on it and I'll eat it. But but that is my favorite.
Love it. Love it. So what is a movie that you love?
Well, I love lots of movies, but the one that I love and my family and I all enjoy it is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh, wow.
Just
That's an old movie. I haven't seen that in years.
There's so many great lines. Actually, George Clooney, and actually I do a little rendition of the movie about meeting my husband, if you want to hear that.
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so Holly Hunter, her big thing is you must be bona fide. And she's going, well, I know you had prospects. I knew a lawyer is bona fide. And being a most respectable death is getting hit by the train. It's most respectable good people get hit by the train. So my thing is I lived in rural Pennsylvania and my husband he's actually a native Carolinian and he moved to Pennsylvania and he was a young engineer and I saw him and I met him and I'm going, so I say, I knew he was bona fide. I knew he had prospects. So I latched onto him and I never let him go the day that he stepped off the bus.
That's awesome. I love it.
And we've been together for 44 years or something like that now.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Relationship since 1981.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really cool.
And I still say he's bona fide and has even more prospects.
Aw, that's so sweet. I love it. So what is a good book that you've read recently?
It's more of a series and it is on Netflix, but the books are fabulous. The series is good, but the books are fabulous. But I love the Virgin River series by Robin Carr.
Okay. I haven't read that one. I'll have to check it out.
There's like 21 books in the series.
That'll keep you occupied for a while.
But they're really good and they're set in like Northern California. In the mountains of North Carolina or Northern California.
Very cool. So I probably already know the answer to this question.
Yeah, I think so.
Are you team cat or team dog?
Oh, well, I love my critters. But we're team dog here.
I'd say.
You said you have 4 dogs?
4 dogs. Yep. 3 are hounds of the hound family, and then so we have a Basset mix, a full-blooded beagle, a Plot hound, and then Colt is a lab pit mix.
Wow. They must keep you busy.
They they do. They're all getting kind of a little in age now, so so they like to lay around and sleep a lot. But I usually have somebody here in the office with me, and if I'm downstairs, I'm definitely surrounded with lots of love and protection.
Absolutely. So what destination is at the top of your bucket list?
I want to see the Mediterranean Sea, and I think I want to enter it by Italy.
Good choice.
Yeah.
That's my top destination. I want to see, I want to see Europe. I've never traveled other than Canada. I have never been out of the United States. My husband he is a world traveler. He has been in Europe. He's been to China and Argentina and different things with his job. Korea, but I have not. And I got my passport at the beginning of 2020 because at that time he had business that he was going to the western part of France near near Switzerland, I think. And so you could go up over the Alps and go on into Geneva and different things like that. And he just painted such a picture that I want to see that in Germany. But my top is to see the Mediterranean Sea.
Wonderful. That's a good bucket list item, and I know you'll get there.
I'll get there. I'll get there.
Sure. Well, thank you so much, Weezy. This has been a great conversation. Where can other people find you and learn more about what you do with video production, just on your smartphone or otherwise?
I have a website, weezyinc.com, and that's WeezyInc.com. I also have a YouTube channel called Weezy, and you can find me. So you can find me there on YouTube and Instagram under Weezy Media.
Very good. Excellent. Well, this has been great, and we're looking forward to your presentation for the upcoming summit. You are talking about the 3 Ps that you need to have better photos while you're traveling. So it's a great presentation. I've taken a little sneak peek, and I'm excited to share that with everybody else. So thank you so much. This has been a great conversation, and we are looking forward to your presentation at the retreat.
I am looking forward to seeing as many as I can of the presentations at the retreat. And thank you so much for having me here as a guest in your studio. Online.
Well, thanks again, and we will talk to you again soon.
All right. Goodbye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.